Hello everyone, and last night I got to see the latest and supposed whole complete last of the Hunger Games franchise. And what do I think on this? What do I think of this movie as a whole? Well, let's go back 3 years ago to the very first one that came out in 2012. The first one I liked fine. I remember seeing it in Seattle. I liked it fine. That's what I thought of it. The second one, much better. I thought it was a much more well-focused, much more concise, much better action and pacing story. That is probably my favorite of the franchise. Catching Fire Part 1, the weakest. I thought that one had such poor pacing, such poor, just terrible. It was terribly slow. So this film has two big challenges. Number one, wrapping this whole franchise up in a nice, neat little bow with one good movie and two somewhat good movies, in my opinion. It has a very concise idea of wrapping this whole franchise up into one big, nice, neat little bow. And how does it end, in my opinion? It ends. It ends fine. I'll say it. That's the thing for me, is that I just don't give a shit. I never really gave a crap for this franchise or the characters, really. I just weren't really that engrossed to it. So it wasn't really my thing, and I'm glad this franchise has found an audience to entertain, because every franchise will have its own audience. That's kind of in the nature of film. This is despised, but that's another story. But I'm happy this franchise does have an audience. I'm just not the main target audience for it. I haven't read the books, and my thoughts on the movies were either meh to fairly good. So I'm not like head over heels for this franchise. But I went into this movie with very with very much open eyes and open mind to see what it was, and I thought it was fine. Let's talk about the good things first. Number one, the action. Holy crap, the action was excellent in this movie. I loved the action. The action was really great. The stakes were really, really high. It was really grim, it was really dark, and therefore it could really, really get that when a big action scene comes, you can feel that climactic feel to it, and it feels like so much on the edge of it going on, and you're just like, oh my god, I gotta survive. Keep going. I thought the action was really, really great, in my opinion. And the last 20 minutes of this movie, while a bit obvious at times, did seem really, really satisfying in the way it wrapped up the franchise as a whole. I thought it did it quite well. And the acting is just excellent. It really, really is. Like, Katniss Everdeen, played greatly by Jennifer Lawrence. She's excellent. Josh Hutcherson, Liam Hemsworth, Elizabeth Banks, Woody Harrelson, Philip Seymour Hoffman. Rest in peace. Donald Sutherland, Julianne Moore, and so many more actors I'm probably forgetting. The second actors in the movie. I thought they were all great. They all gave a great, solid performance, particularly in my opinion of Donald Sutherland. I don't know why, but I'm a really big fan of Donald Sutherland. I just love the performances he always gives in movies. He has such a mesmerizing presence, and he's such a menacing figure in this franchise that I really love every scene he's in, and he just really, really just adds to the real craziness of it, and I think he's wonderful. And of course, Katniss, played by the fantastic Jennifer Lawrence. She's excellent. She knows how to play the character well. And here's something I realized about the character. The character is not all that great. It's not all that great, but it's simplistic. And I'm not saying simplistic isn't bad, but you can kind of give her more layers to her, and there's not much to her. Granted, she can really sell those emotional moments, but for the most time, she makes kind of those blank expression stares a lot, especially in the last two movies of this franchise. She makes those blank spirit, those blank faces are raw, and you see a lot of posters all the time, and it's the performance that really makes it great. It's the actor or the actress that makes it great. It's the same thing with Han Solo. The character is simple, but it's the performance that we love. It's the actor that we love. We love Han Solo because Harrison Ford is so great. The same thing here with Katniss Everdeen, played by oh my god, holy shit, played by, of course, Jennifer Lawrence. And that's probably because everyone loves Jennifer Lawrence. Who the hell doesn't? She's a fantastic human being. She's just great person, and I can't praise her enough personally. She's just excellent. She's a great character. She's a great actor, and she really sells it. And those are things I thought that were really good about this movie. But there's some things that aren't really all that great. Number one is, same thing with the last one, the pacing. The pacing is pretty hard to get through at times. And in this movie, it drags. And there's some moments where I could literally, well, I was watching this movie, I'm like, okay, I remember certain scenes that if I was in the editing room, deciding what goes into the movie or not, as a whole, I could at least see a good solid 20-something minutes getting edited out of this movie, and it would have been any different. And now, granted, I like how it kind of does slow down at times, and does allow you to breathe, and it's really mad, chaotic world where the characters need to catch a breath, and you need to catch a breath with them. I understand that, but there's a lot of slow moments. It drags, and I really do like slow movies that really make you enjoy the slower pacing, because I do like slower movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Tree of Life and so many Kubrick movies. But the pacing, because this movie is both half build up and half action, you want the build up to pay off when you get to that action, and while the action is excellent, the pacing or getting to it drags. It drags so much, and you just get bored by it. And I'm sorry, and I got bored by the action at times. Not the action, the build up. There's a lot of slow moments where I'm just like, oh my god, let it end, please. And I will say by the end of it, there's some things you can see coming from a story perspective of the whole franchise wrapping up. It's like, you know, you kind of do know who's going to die in the end. But as a whole, and there's some, and of course there's going to be some things that are going to be a great nod to the fans from the books. Same thing that happened with the Hobbit movies, where excuse me, where it's like there's a lot of nods. Oh my god! Well, there's a lot of nods from the novelizations in the movie, and our fans will be like, I love that entry. Even though a lot of people who don't read the books will be like, what was the point of that? And I understand satisfying the fans, because in the book to film adaptation, that's the number one thing you want to do. But there's some things that may be just a little odd, so and in the end, I just don't know if they're being that faithful or not, because, you know, I never read the source material, I never read the books. I'm much more of a Hobbit fan than Hunger Games fan. If I had to choose one, Hobbit. I'm more of a fan of that, and I'm sorry to any of the Hunger Games fans out there. I'm just a Hobbit fan more. But in the end, I actually thoroughly really did enjoy. I really did enjoy Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 as a whole. It was a somewhat satisfying end for the half franchise as a whole. I enjoyed, and it did end on a strong note, even though if it's not perfect for its own sake, and it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better, but I understand it could have been much worse. And in the end, that's just my thoughts on this movie. And as a whole, and by the way, I am sorry for not making a video in a while. There hasn't been that many good movies out, except for the Peanuts, but I just don't want to see that. Now remember, this is my rating system, is that a 60 for me is a pass. And I'm going to say this movie for me is a good 65. That's my rating. I'm going to give this movie, in my opinion, a 65%. That's my rating for this movie, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed my review of it. And stick around for this weekend when I will review the Seth Rogen comedy that's coming out, hopefully soon. Till then, everyone, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the future for more videos as always. Till then, bye.